What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about how JSAUX stole my idea again. So, it's been brought to my attention. I've been kind of busy as of late, and I wish I could had the time to do more videos. But I actually have been testing the ROG Ally. I've got about 20 hours on it so far, and I'm not gonna lie, I like it. But we'll talk about that in another video. We're gonna talk about the JSOX backplate right now, and if you stay towards the end of this, I'm gonna do a quick sneak peek of the Mark IV of my backplate. JSOC's probably gonna copy that too, but and before we get into it, I want to talk about mimicry is the greatest form of flattery, right? So they're copying my idea because it's a good idea, and I you one would be salty, one would be angry. Oh, this is my idea, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm actually more flattered than anything because I had a great idea. It was a great idea, and if it was something that I wanted to monetize or something like that, I would have pushed that. But no, I wanted that information to be free. Like, it is free information. And I wanted everyone to know that you can just cut a hole in the back of your Steam Deck and resolve a lot of the high fan noise or fan speed, sorry, and the high temperatures. We were able to drop it by almost 8 degrees delta. So obviously, depending on the room and the game you're playing, it's going to change. And we were able to resolve the IC issues with the thermal pad mod. So it was an experience for all of us. And that information was free. So it was free to you and it's free to JSOX. And now that JSOX wants to use some of the tricks that I've created, that is fine with me. What is not kind of fine is not some type of acknowledgement. Let's say, for example, let's say they came up with the idea first. Maybe they said, like, oh yeah, I see that Poppy has created this, but we've already been working on this for a while. Okay, cool. Clearly you've known I've been working on it for a while. And we'll get into that for a second, but that would have been fine, statement or something like that. Or maybe they don't even care, or they don't even notice me, or whatever. But I find that hard to believe because some of my content about the JSOX backplate is probably my best content. I'm not bragging about it or anything. I'm just saying that that it would they would not be doing their job if they're not at least checking on the ecosystem that is around their backplate. So I find it hard to believe that anyone in their team has not run into at least one of my videos or someone talking about some of the mods I've created. I very find it hard to believe. But then again, it might be. Who knows? But one thing I want to say before we get into it is that I am not salty. I'm more flattered than salty. And one thing about being salty or a negative person or angry person is one thing you have to understand. Being salty or angry or whatever you want to call it about something that you can't control, because this is a Chinese company, they're going to do whatever they want. There's nothing I can do. I could have a patent for it, I could do all this, and they could still copy it and sell it. And it would get caught in litigation. It cost me tens of thousands of dollars just for what? It doesn't make any sense. And like I said in the beginning, this was information I gave out for free. I wanted people to be able to do this. I wanted them to know that it is very simple to modify your Steam Deck to run cooler, so you can overclock it. So back to what I was saying is that being salty or angry only ends up hurting yourself and then hurting the people around you. So learn to not or to not get salty or get angry on things you can't control. I'm a kid. There's no way I can control JSOX and what they do. And when I say no way, I mean realistically. If I had unlimited funds, I'd go after them just for shits and giggles. But I don't have unlimited funds, and I'm just some dude in his attic, right? I'm just some dude in his attic. So with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's talk about where I first came out with this mod, and that is gonna be this video right here, which actually was a short, uh, believe it or not. And how do I already forgot how to do this? So this was a short I did a long time ago, and I'll play the short and I'll try. And so one thing about this video, it's probably my most highest viewed video I've ever had on a short. And it's 24,000 views. So that's why I'm saying it's kind of hard. If you're selling a product to, well, technically that's not the video. So, sorry. But if you're selling a product, you're going to see these videos or at least something similar to it, right? We got to watch the whole thing. So, long story short, in this thing, I cut it out. And then I posted this thing. When did I post this? I don't know. I don't know how to show the dates. Does it show it here? Description. When did this post? December 10th. All right. So I started cutting holes in December 10th of last year. And that just shows you the timeline. Sorry about that. Shows you the timeline of what I was doing. And then 2 months ago, I went ahead and I did the same mod with the JSAUX backplate. And I've done it. 2 months ago, I did it, and I showed you how to do it. I told you should do it if you're willing to do it, risk it. And it's a great mod. It is a good mod. It was a great. Oh man, I did a cutout scene. I'm basically wearing the same outfit there. Yeah. So if you haven't watched that video, watch that video because you basically do not need to upgrade your JSOX backplate. You just need to cut a hole in it. But with all that to the side, clearly, yeah, your boy did first. And that's cool. Like I love tinkering. I love doing these stuff, and I don't blame them for copying me. So this is the new backplate. It's the vents one, and it's funny because I call it the vent mod, but then they added RGB, which is actually pretty cool. You know, um, let's just talk about this thing real quick. So from what I can tell, obviously they cut a hole right where you want the hole, and it kind of looks like they missed the mark the same as I did. It's kind of hard to tell in these pictures because everything's angled. I think it's offset again. And the problem with that is they ran into the same problem that I did. They centered this punch out on the center of these two screws right here. And that is not the center of the fan. And I did that actually twice. So it's kind of funny that they did the same issue as mine. So when you put this backplate on, that hole is not going to be centered with the fan hole. And it's going to kind of annoy you because it annoyed me for a while. But then I just put a big cover on it so that it wasn't that noticeable. And that one is this one, my other most largest viewed video. Um, Short meaning this one. So I put this big shroud on there just because it was so messed up. Well, this was kind of my fault too, that thing. But that shroud covered up where the hole should be. But yeah, we both made mistakes there. It happens. It's part of the design process. But they're bringing this one to market, and I wouldn't if I had their capacity, I wouldn't bring it to market like that. So let's talk about what comes in this thing, man. So from these pictures, it's just like their original JSOX backplate. Everything's great. The screwdriver sucks. This pry bar sucks. You should use a pick. These silicone things, never used them. Didn't like them. These rear buttons are great. I love the larger ones only because I never use those buttons. Just because it helps you hold the Steam Deck in a more comfortable manner. That's the reason why I like them so much. But other than that, it's all pretty much the same. Really easy refresh for them when it comes to like the accessory parts, but then the actual hardwares and the backplate's a lot different. So from what I can tell in this video, what is happening is they went ahead, or this picture, sorry, and they increased the surface area of the aluminum plate. So what that does is it's actually, hopefully, I don't know, I think they're gonna make the thermal pad a lot bigger. But you're gonna it's okay now though. If you make the thermal pad a lot bigger, then you can pull more heat to the back of the back plate, and then this thing's null and void. I don't even know why they even put this fan out. I would have just deleted these vent fans, because there's no air is going to go down there, especially with this vent hole, and that's and a big piece of thermal pad there. Because if you watch my first video, there's an air channel on most Steam Decks. I think some of the newer ones don't have that air channel, but that's going to clog that up. So that means if there were any air to come in here, they would have to go through over here, or come out and over to top over here, which would make just it. Air is always going to choose the path of least resistance, so that just means all the air is going to come out here. So this vent hole, it's not necessary anymore. It's 100% not necessary vent hole. And yeah, so who knows? I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's not to freak people out, because a lot of people get freaked out. My most commented thing ever is the fact that I blocked out these holes on the new backplate, and when I cut this out, I wonder if they're gonna get backlash like I did. But I done the research and I've done the testing, and for the most part, it's pretty much safe. Things do run hotter, but not in any way that I think would be detrimental to your Steam Deck. But it could potentially, hotter running things will degrade over time a lot quicker than cooler running things. But if you have adequate cooling in the back of this, then it's gonna, the fact that you're not pulling any air down here is not really going to matter. And it's only going to make your fan run a little bit smoother. And did they put a vent mesh there? It looked like they did. They put a vent mesh, which is good. It looks like they did. But I think it's a good thing. So, going all, I hope it doesn't sound like I'm hating on this. If anything, I'm pointing out all the good things about this. This is a much better product than they had before, and I'm hoping the fit is better too. And I'm not I don't even understand why people always think I'm like a JSAUX a hater. I'm not. This is, this does not. I would definitely recommend this backplate over any other backplate. Like highly recommend, because of this vent hole, because of this thing. This is gonna be the coolest running backplate you can ever buy, currently. Until you buy mine, because I'm still working on mine, but mine is gonna be nowhere near as freaking well as this. That's why I wanted to get a hold of JSAUX in the beginning, so I can give them ideas and pointers of how to make a backplate that their consumers are gonna want, and they did. This is a backplate I've already made this backplate. I think it's a great idea, and they did it, and they made it. I wish they just gave me a little bit of shout out for it, but you know what? To each their own. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it, and I doubt they are. So, would I recommend this backplate? 100%. 100% recommend this backplate. I think it's better than a stock backplate. These rear buttons alone are worth the $29.99. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so JSAUX, you stole my idea again. And if you didn't know what the first one was, it was just basically the Howler cooler fan, which I still don't recommend to buy. And if you don't know what the cooler fan is, I'm gonna just bring it up so you don't waste your money. This is a cool one right here, real quick. So I don't know exactly what this one is. If this is the grip one, oh, this is the grip one RGB. Freaking A. So I don't understand the difference is, because if you see that picture and you see these pictures, none of them match up. But this thing looks awesome with this thing. So I think they're going to come out with some silicone pads to go over there. I think that's amazing. This is going to be, I don't understand why I don't like the RGB, because no. I'm good with the RGB. And I wonder how this RGB is going to be powered anyways. So it's just going to be another thing to charge. Yeah. See, they're not even going to come out with this thing yet. No. Don't need to charge. See how off-centered that is? It's just like slightly off-centered. It drives me nuts. But it is what it is, man. That's what you're gonna have. I don't understand why they keep making it transparent too. They shouldn't make it transparent. Is it cheaper to make a transparent backplate? Do you think people? There's the charge port right there. So there's a little battery in there, right? I think this is the battery. Just another thing to charge. Why would you want another thing to charge? If anything, this is just good for the grip because this grip looks freaking clean. I like that. That grip looks clean. Um, okay. Oh yeah, I got lost track. Lost track. Lost track. What was I doing? Oh yeah, the cooler. Where's the cooler? Did I pass it? Are they even selling this cooler anymore? Did I pass this thing? This is their new RGB dock. Um, I think it's. I think docks are kind of overrated. I don't understand why people are still coming out with them. Like you can get a $15 dock and pretty much do because it's all about 10 gigabits, right? If you get a 10 gigabit dock, doesn't matter what brand you get. I would say get a higher quality brand. But so they don't sell the original one anymore because it was a stupid idea. That sticky tape was ridiculous. Like once it goes out, it goes out. But this, I've already created this thing. I made this thing, and it was a kickstand as well. It's which is fine, whatever, dude. Like I get it. Like I had a great idea, you guys liked it, and you copied it. It happens. Maybe I should just make these, right? I think I can. I think I can take my design, make it a little bit better, and then sell it for a very affordable price. Where by affordable I mean I'm not really making any money. I probably like make $2 $3 a unit. Definitely not worth my time. But just as a big, you know what, f you to this 43.99. Maybe I could just make a cheaper version of this. One thing I do need to do with the cheaper version of this, one thing that this thing has that it's just the battery pack. Like, but then again, like just get a splitter or a dongle. Once you add this thing in the back of your Steam Deck, it's already bulky. That's why um, I'm already making a built-in dongle for my Steam Deck. So, um, let me go ahead and grab that right now, and then we'll end this video. Uh, so, do, do, do. So here we are. This is the Mark IV backplate, and JSAUX, if you're watching, I'm getting rid of the hot pad. We're gonna have a built-in fan on here. You should do that too because no more plates because it's just then you got just build it in. Put a fan in there. What was that one? I forgot what it's called, but I did a video about it. That was a great backplate add-on. But right now with this red version of Mark IV, this button issue is I'm at the point where I don't even care about these buttons anymore. And you'll notice that I coved it out a little bit. But that's just for grip. Oh my god, it feels so much better in hand. Oh, like with this grip. And I know, like I said, I don't care about these rear buttons, so it doesn't matter to me. Um, right now, what matters to me is fit and feel. Once I get that dialed in, then I'm gonna actually start working on access ports right here. This is just for fun. Like this is just a learning experience. But one thing I need to figure out is this clip situation because it is still pretty freaking bad. And that's what I'm gonna be working on as soon as I end this video. But guys, what do you think? Did they steal my idea? Did yeah? No? Maybe? Am I just am I just making things up? I don't you it's up to you. Let me know in the comments. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the Mark IV, and we're gonna come out with more ideas that JSOX can steal. Bye.